October 26, 2010 meeting of the Recreation Education Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Gamble? Here. Mr. Gamina? Here. Ms. Cayley is excused. Mr. Tucciarello? Here. Chairwoman Valerio?
Here. Before we get started, I notice there's some lovely greenery sticking up above my desk. So I know there's someone here that would love to give us a wonderful presentation.
All right. Good afternoon. Our plant of the month today is...
Mr. Quinn, excuse me, official notice.
Our plant of the month this month is juniper. Really a great plant. It'll do well in very tough environments. It likes heat, sun, bad soil. The only place you really can't use juniper is in a wet area or in the shade. But anywhere you've got a lot of sun, it's great. There's over 50 species of juniper, depending on which horticulturalist you listen to, 50 to 67 species, wow. And hundreds of varieties. I've got 4 or 5 different varieties here. You can see there's multiple different colors. They come in a number of blues, grays, and green shades, and they can be used for multiple purposes in the landscape. This one here, it'll get nice and tall. It'll be a nice upright. I've got some blue rugs in this, over off this, actually on the ends, the blue rugs. They'll stay about 6 inches tall, so they're used as a ground cover. And there's any number of things that are in between. They're dioecious, which means there's male and female plants, so if you want berries, you have to plant both the male and the female. The berries are actually used as spice, so you can, for instance, gin is flavored with the berries of junipers. It's not a big market, but there are certainly some recipes you'll see that actually has juniper berries. They're a little nasty to work with. A lot of people are allergic to them, but they're very easy to maintain. They stay pretty much, they're easy to prune. They stay tight and compact in a lot of circumstances. They can be anything from a 6-inch plant to maybe a 120-foot tree, depending on the variety. So they're really an interesting plant, and they'll stay here very nice. You can plant these almost any time you can dig a hole in the ground. Unlike a lot of plants, they're very easy to plant. So you could plant them now, you could plant them in the spring. Generally speaking, the best time to plant almost anything is in the spring, but junipers, there's a lot of leeway. You can get away with a lot there. Any other
questions? Well, thank you so much for brightening up our display. Is there anyone signed up this evening for the public forum?
There is not.
Okay, in that case, is there anyone who is not signed, well, obviously no one signed up, that anyone else would like to speak? Okay. Given that there are none, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. You have the July 28th and September 28th minutes of the Recreation and Education Committee before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business.
Referral 10-304, amend resolution.
Moved by Mr. Gamina, second by Mr. Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Referral 10-305.
Moved by Mr. Tucciarello, seconded by Mr. Gamina. Any discussion? Mr. Gamble.
Madam Chair, when is this construction scheduled to occur? Through you, please.
Through the chair, the village expects to begin construction probably later this month.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, in November. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Any further questions? All right, there being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Now, the next item on the agenda is a matter of importance, and I think before we... Oh, you have to move it first? Sorry. Okay.
Referral 10-318, accept the gift.
Moved by Mr. Gamina, second by Mr. Tucciarello. Before we have any questions, I think it would be appropriate, being a matter of importance, to have Mr. Staub please address it. You can either do it from there or from the podium.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm joined here today by my colleagues Rachel Baker-August, the Executive Director of the Seneca Park Zoo Society, Larry Sorrell, the County Zoo Director at Seneca Park Zoo, and David Ronaldo, our Deputy Director of Parks, and our Director of Finance, CFO, Scott Adair. I'd like to just walk you through this very quickly. As the Chairman said, this is a matter of importance. It's coming to you to approve a construction project at the Seneca Park Zoo, which is the lion exhibit. And we've talked about this in the past. A few months ago, we came before you to receive authorization to apply for a state grant. And at that time, we walked you through the project. What this referral will do is accept first a gift from the Seneca Park Zoo Society in the amount of $4.5 million. Seneca Park Zoo Society has been working very hard to assist us in the completion of the Step into Africa and Ngorongoro Crater exhibit. That began back in 2004, late 2004, early 2005, with the county committing to build the new elephant barn and yard. And at that time, this body authorized us to spend $4.5 million to do that. It later involved the Zoo Society funding the elephant splash pool and also the baboon exhibit at the African area. This is phase 3, and this will complete the Ngorongoro Crater experience with the new lion exhibit. So the $4.5 million that we're accepting is the estimated value of this project. The Zoo Society, as I said, has worked very hard to raise this money from private sources and also through grant funding. What we would like to do is receive approval to add this to the capital budget and authorize financing for this project for $3.4 million. To break that out, it involves $2.9 million, which would be the main lion exhibit, to which the Seneca Park Zoo Society would reimburse us for that cost. And it also includes $500,000 for the construction of a restroom and a concession area, which we talked about when we came here to talk about the grant. And we talked at that time with you about the need might arise for the county to become involved in this project, and most likely that would involve the construction of this facility. This is appropriate for the county to be involved because it's directly related to visitor amenities. And as we talked at that time, a restroom, a concession stand, it's a very difficult type of building or facility for a nonprofit like the Zoo Society to actually raise money for. So this is very appropriate for the county to step in. As I said, the Zoo Society would reimburse the county for the expense of the main lion exhibit. The county would incur the $500,000 cost. Why is it important to do this now, and why is this a matter of importance? It's very important because we went out to bid several weeks ago, and we received some very favorable bids and prices to construct this exhibit. The bids came in about 20% under what we had estimated they would. And I can say to you tonight that if we did not move forward with this exhibit at this time, we would not be able to build it at this cost. It would be a much higher cost if we waited to do this. Another important thing of why it's coming to you today is that those bids expire on the 14th of November. A contractor must hold their bid for 45 days. That 45 days expires on November 14th. We'd get in under the wire with a legislative approval on the November 9th meeting. Another very important item to consider, and something that we are taking very seriously, is that the elephant barn improvements, which will involve some major construction inside the elephant barn and some minor improvements to the yard, will also be occurring at the same time if we approve this now. That is very important for the visitor experience. It's very important for the zoo as a facility to get people through, because we would only have to have heavy equipment and construction in that area at one time. We could do both of these simultaneously, and that has always been our plan. That's why we plan to do the elephant work at this time, because to do these projects, this area, the African area, would have to be closed off to the public. So we would only have to close it off once. If we are to get the approval of the legislature at the November 9th meeting, these committees tonight, we would be able to move forward on contracts and break ground, hopefully mid to 3/4 through November, and get this underway. If we waited until the December meeting, we would miss that commitment of the bid, and it would also push us probably into January, and who knows what the climate would be, what the weather conditions would be at that time. 7 months to construct this project, so we'd like to get this up and running while visitors are still coming to the zoo, and so we can take advantage of this from an attendance standpoint and a financial standpoint to both the county and the Zoo Society. This is a very important project. People have asked us to bring lions back. Lions were last at the zoo in 1985, and since then, our biggest question is, where are the lions? Well, with your support, we'll be able to say they're right over there in between the polar bears and the baboons.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Mr. Tucciarello.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, I just want to say thank you to the Seneca Park Zoo Society for all their hard work and their efforts working with us to make the zoo an asset to our community, a place that everyone could go and enjoy the day. It is lovely and just getting better all the time, so thank you very much.
Mr. Gamina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A question through you to either Director Staub or to Ms. Baker August. In terms of the length of time for construction, if we were to break ground in mid-November, when would the project be completed?
Through you, Madam Chairman, project would be completed this summer. We would push, and I spoke with Rachel today, we would both jointly push for a July opening as much as we could, but the key here is to get it completed before our season really runs out. Our season is from spring break at the local schools, as you would appreciate, Legislator Gamina, right through Labor Day. That's our core season. Anything after that, you're really gambling with the weather. You're really gambling with a lot of other activities that draw families. The Zoo Society helps us a great deal to maximize that. Just these last 2 weekends, assisted by wonderful weather, we broke attendance records for Zubu, a program that the Zoo Society sponsors that brings young kids and families into the zoo for the merry, not scary experience of trick-or-treating at the zoo. And the attendance was phenomenal, and that's in great due to their support and, by the weather too. But, we've had some crummy years as well. So we'd really like to get this open and maximize our potential for revenue and for the, community to get out there and see these lions during our core season. Do you have anything you want to add?
Madam Chair, if the county is contributing only $500,000, why is the administration requesting authorization for $3.4 million?
Through you, Madam Chairman. Good question. The county is going to bond the entire amount, $3.4 million. $500,000 of that would be the county's responsibility, and the other $2.9 million would be reimbursed to the county from the Zoo Society. This would allow us to get this done now and get it done in a timely fashion. It also allows us to make sure that all the public works requirements are adhered to, that all the labor laws are adhered to. It makes sense to have everything in one bucket, so to speak.
Mr. Gamble, will you please use the mic? Thank you. I know, it's just the recording.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Legislator Gamble.
Oh, you didn't have another question? No. Oh, okay, I thought you did. All right. Any further questions? I just have one. So the lions, I know, are coming from where?
Africa.
Africa.
Two from Africa, one domestically,
So do they have
and we
an
can't
arrival
disclose
date?
that source yet.
Yeah, do they have an arrival date? I mean, how's this going to work?
Through you, Madam Chairman, as soon as we receive legislative approval, Mr. Sorrell will place the call to Africa to identify those two lions. He has made some preliminary inquiries, so we do have a lead on a few lions over there. We would actually get a commitment because we did not want to make any commitments until we had a place to put them, or legislators might have had to board some of these lions. But after he got that commitment from the African source, he'd be able to go out to the SSP with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums and acquire a third domestic lion. And that's important for the genetics of the lion population here in captivity in the United States.
Thank you. Any further questions? I'm looking. Oh, hello, welcome. We're trying to speed up our lion project because we have a wonderful $4.5 million gift. Okay.
Though, since, if you'll pardon me, since I wasn't here through
Yes.
the chair, how does this affect the footprint of the existing zoo plan?
Through you, Madam Chair, this does not affect the 1991 footprint, which the county executive committed to back when we put the elephant barn and yard down in that area that we're talking about. This makes no changes from the time we talked to you about this project a few months ago. It totally adheres within the 1991 master plan footprint.
Thank you, that's all.
All set? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters?
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Oh, thank you. Any other matters to come before this committee this evening? There being no further business, the October 26th meeting of the Recreation and Education Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Recreation and Education Committee is scheduled for November 30th, 2010 at 5 o'clock.